All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. All protocol duly observed. As been introduced, my name is Bamidele Adebisi. So my job is, I don't know whether it's difficult or easy, but actually you've heard this morning over and over again the word hydrogen. And as you came in, you'll have seen hydrogen everywhere. So my role in the next 10 to 15 minutes is really to explain what this hydrogen is about. So what is hydrogen and why does it matter? That's what I'll be talking about in the next 10 minutes. As been introduced, I'm a professor of infrastructure system from Manchester Metropolitan University. I'm also the director of smart cities and innovation. But in African Hydrogen Partnership, which is based in Mauritius, I am one of the directors. I'm the director that looks after research and development across Africa, and I also look at capacity building. That's basically it. That's the kind of work I do and the people that are within my team. So what is hydrogen? I'm sure many of us did chemistry or integrated science when we were in secondary school, and we've heard the word hydrogen is #1 element on the periodic table, if we can start from there. So hydrogen is abundant, it's highly abundant in the universe. Actually, the entire mass of the universe is made of 75% of the mass of the universe is made up of hydrogen. If we start from that, it's all over. It is highly combustible. What that means is that hydrogen is something that can catch fire easily, and you see this fire can be converted to something that is productive energy. So it is abundant, it is combustible. Hydrogen actually took its name from the word hydrogen, with various ways of classifying hydrogen, and various ways of classifying hydrogen, and it's usually around how it's being produced. There are so many colors, so they use colors for this. So I'll just talk about the 4 major colors. So the first one is the brown hydrogen. So when you hear the word brown hydrogen, you are talking about hydrogen that has been produced from coal. Yeah, we know coal, charcoal, yeah? That's when you produce from coal, you call that brown hydrogen, and the process that you use in producing that is called gasification. In gray hydrogen, you produce using natural gas. So in a process known as steam methane reforming. I won't go into that. This is what the afternoon is all about. You will hear more detail about it in the workshop. So brown and gray hydrogen are great, and they've been around for years. In fact, 98% of the hydrogen produced today are produced in this way. But the point is they are made from carbon, and they are highly polluting. And that is why the world is trying to move from that process or that system of producing hydrogen to something that is greener or that is more sustainable. Hence, we have blue hydrogen. Blue hydrogen is a kind of gray hydrogen or brown hydrogen that you produce from natural gas or you produce from coal, whichever the source. Instead of allowing the carbon that is emitted to the atmosphere to just go like that and impact on the environment, you capture it, store it, or you capture it and utilize it. So when you have carbon that is coming out of your hydrogen production and you are able to eliminate it to some extent, you call that blue hydrogen. But it is not perfect. #1 is it costs a lot of money to make this CCU, which is carbon capture and storage, to make it happen. The second is it's also not perfect, it's not 100% green. So the last one, and that is what most of the conversation today we'll be dealing with, is actually green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is when you produce your hydrogen from renewable energy. And by renewable energy, we mean hydro, solar, or wind, or various other sources. So that is zero carbon. The blue hydrogen is low carbon, and the brown and gray hydrogen, they are high. Yeah. Okay, high carbon. All right, good, thank you. So, why is this important? I believe I've been able to give you a great background of what hydrogen is about and the various types of hydrogen. Why is it important? Well, it is important because as you see the graph on the left, energy consumption is what is going up and up and up. I was one of the people invited by the Minister for Digital Economy recently to look at how we develop strategy for AI across the world. I was in one of the committee looking at the ethic of AI, for example. You see, AI is amazing, but you will not believe the amount of energy that is needed to crunch data for you to be able to use your ChatGPT. And that is going to increase. So when you are on your TikTok, you are on Facebook and YouTube, yeah, those things are consuming huge energy, and they are not going to change tomorrow. It's actually on the increase, all right? So that's number one, because we actually need energy, but Nigeria even need it more. So Nigerian problem is not really about whether we have green or blue. It's a problem of access. We do not have enough, all right? So it's increasing. So any source of energy is good for us. So that's one point. The second point is actually the fact that there's a drive towards transition from fossil fuel, high carbon energy sources to a low carbon or zero carbon energy. And that is moving. It's moving really fast. So this interest is also affecting investment. So what you will find is across the world, people are no longer investing in fossil fuel energy generation. And I'm not just talking about buying it, I'm talking about the technology to make it. So what you will find is that in the next 20 years or so, you will find it very difficult to buy a car that uses diesel, for example. That will be very difficult, okay? And so on and so forth. And therefore, many countries all over the world are beginning to develop strategies on hydrogen, developing strategy on how to use hydrogen in an effective way. So this slide is basically to look at what are the key technologies. Among many other technologies which we'll be talking about later in the afternoon, I just want to mention two that are primary. The first one is electrolyzer. So how do you get hydrogen away from oxygen? You use a machine called electrolyzer in a process known as electrolysis. Simply, you push water in, the water goes into this electrolyzer, and the electrolyzer kind of splits it into hydrogen and oxygen. And you can use the oxygen for, like you use in the hospital, or for various other applications, and then you can use your hydrogen whether in different utilization, whether for electricity, or you use it in car, or any other application, all right? So that's on the one hand, you have electrolyzers. The second point is fuel cell. For you to actually convert hydrogen is in gaseous form. You can make it liquid if you want, but it's primarily gas. This gas, if you want to generate electricity from it, just like you put gas into a generator or diesel into a generator and you get electricity, our own generator in this case is called fuel cell. So hydrogen goes into fuel cell turn it around, and what you get is electricity. So this is really in various aspects that require investment. Hydrogen is amazing, all right, on its own, but it's actually much more, even more amazing when you use it in a cluster. Meaning, you create a cluster where there are people that are generating hydrogen, people utilizing hydrogen maybe for baking products and so on and so forth, and they are all in a cluster together to reduce the cost of transportation and to, to be able to harness all the potentials of hydrogen. Again, this is one area that we're looking at. For example, the Lagos Free Zone is being looked at as a potential area because of what is coming in and going out at that area and the land availability, agriculture that is going on in that area in Ogun State, of course, because hydrogen gives you fertilizer, green steel, green metals, and so on and so forth. So it's called Hydrogen Valley, or Hydrogen Hub, or Hydrogen Clusters. So as I wrap up, huge opportunities in Africa. So for other things that we've been involved in, this is really good because the world needs Africa at this moment. Why? Because all that you need, remember earlier on I told you that 50% of the cost of producing hydrogen is from what? The electricity that you use in splitting it, okay? It's from renewable. We have renewable as a gift, okay? Go out, you see sunshine. Come to Manchester, you won't see that, okay? We also have wind. We have land mass, more than the rest of the world. We also have young people that can be trained to make this happen, which the rest of the world do not have. So these are the potentials in Africa. And that is why Nigeria is really key and central to this. Also the fact that we actually have access. So for the rest of the world, this is about eating food, and you think this is pounded yam and egusi soup and a bit of fish. Then then you want some, because you are already full. But in Africa, the fact is, we are not just looking for energy as an add-on, something that is, we want a cooler type of energy. Here, we do not have enough. So this is really good for us. There's high demand here. We have young people that can be trained to work here, which the rest of the world don't have. It's an aged population. We have young people that can be trained. So here are the advantages of coming to Africa. And these are some of the areas where hydrogen can be used. Again, we'll talk about this more in detail. These are the different areas. You will start in short time, use hydrogen within clusters. In the medium time, we can begin to think about how we can export hydrogen. In the world, believe it or not, is that countries around the world, like in Europe, in order to decarbonize, they might need to bring their industry here because hydrogen will be cheaper here than over there because of renewable energy that we have. As a wrap-up, I just want to tell you about this project. So the whole of the afternoon is really about training and capacity building. If you want to know more about hydrogen, please come to the workshop after break, where we'll be talking about various aspects of hydrogen, from investments to value chain creation and so on and so forth. But that partly has been funded by a project which is, all the partners are on board screen, as you can see. We have people from South Africa, from Morocco, from Kenya, and Technip that is here with us. So I'm part of the African Hydrogen Partnership, so we are part of that project, working with ABUAD. And the whole aim of this is really what we call promoting a just transition for green hydrogen. That this transition from whatever that we are using today in natural gas or diesel, transitioning that to green hydrogen, we want that to be just, all right? By just, it means in creating it that it benefits the people. That is not the exploitative kind of energy creation that we currently have, where you have companies that come from abroad, they basically exploit the system, take all their resources back to their nation, and their nation is developed while the host nation is not as developed. Just transition is really to bring people together within the community so that the skills are resident here, the technologies are developed here, and the wealth that is produced is actually used for the community. So, as I said, come in the afternoon when you will hear more. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much.